Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we gotta talk about it. Las Terrenas projects. Can you believe a news person talks about Las Terrenas pre-construction properties being built in certain areas, and it may not be coinciding with legal laws? Let's talk about it and more. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. We're talking about the whole island. But in this case, what rules apply is that you always should go to the area and check out before you buy the location, the destination. And in fact, you might want to go not when it's the best time of year, January, February, March, but maybe when it's raining. See what happens when it rains, even if it's during showers during the summer months and it rains for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then goes away. You need to go out and check in that area what happens to make sure that the developers are paying attention. Now, with that said, this isn't just what it's about, but I'm just giving you some real estate investing advice. Go check during the worst time of year and see what happens, as well as the best time of year. So that's part of your investment strategies. If you're going to buy and live there, you want to know if there's a problem. Therefore, let's get down to the SSN Nation YouTube podcast channel page once again. If you like what we're talking about during this video, please subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell, but most importantly, share the videos, because you never know who's out here buying something, especially in this case, near the Las Terrenas, Samana area in the Dominican Republic. Here's the journalist that popped out. Journalist announces environmental violations in Punta Bonita mega project approval. And this came out May 28th, 2025. This is very, very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why. Journalist and broadcaster Norberto Batista denounced the new environmental controversy involving the Reef, a luxury real estate development in Punta Bonita, Las Terrenas by Noval Properties, which is being built on protected coastal wetlands and flood plains. Oh my, that is a problem. And once again, wetlands and floodplains, that's going to be cheap property to be had. But what's going to happen? Rainy season, are they going to be able to somehow get the water out of the area or even allow that to happen? That shouldn't even be allowed, quite frankly. The project includes 510 buildings and 17 buildings, 6 pools, okay, all within the ecosystem protected under Law 6400 and Law 202-4 and international agreements. Batista pointed out that the approval process was rushed and lacked transparency, occurring over just 2 weeks in August 2024. Well, we know if anything happens in the DR. Come on, man. 2 weeks? You know you can't get any approvals in 2 weeks unless, let's call it what it is. There's only one way in a developing nation to speed up timelines. Let me know who's a developer out there that can get approvals in 2 weeks. Come on now, there's only a few. So this is very, very sad. But nonetheless, notably, former Environment Minister Miguel Serra Hatton signed the permit 2 days before leaving office, raising concerns about irregularities. Well, you think if it's in a floodplain and wetlands area, I mean, come on, man, that's not that should have never been signed. Batista urged authorities to review the permit, halt construction, and launch an investigation. He emphasized that the land is still officially classified as a flood zone. Okay, that doesn't look at this area. It looks like there's buildings here. So if you were going to invest over here, this is part of your due diligence. You should go talk to these people over here and see what's going on when it does rain in September, October, November, and December. And it's more heavier and longer than just 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes. That's very interesting. So anyhow, this is May 28th. Here's what happens June 17th. This comes out, and environmental violations halt Noval Properties project in Las Terrenas. In case you don't know, again, it's called the Reef. All right, Public Ministry of Dominican Republic, Specialized Prosecutor's Office for the Defense of the Environment and Natural Resources has ordered the suspension of the Reef, a real estate project developed by Noval Properties. The decision followed a raid conducted by environmental prosecutors who found that the project violated multiple environmental laws. Okay, yeah, I guess they need to come out and make some sort of announcement, or this project is already past due, late. So this is even more maddening that this situation has occurred for all the buyers there. So Noval's a pretty well-known company. So I guess you should be making calls to see what is going on. And this is June 17th, so this is relatively new. So, of course, the suspension, the public ministry emphasized that the suspension is part of ongoing efforts to ensure legal compliance and protect the country's natural resources. Right, if it's a floodplain and wetlands, then there's going to have to be something that has to be done. We've had this in Sacramento area where they had a 25-year flood plain area and nothing happened over like 35, 40 years. They decided to build relatively cheap, inexpensive homes in a floodplain. Now, if the levee breaks or like a dike, all of a sudden water starts coming through the levee in certain locations or whatever, then they could have a problem. But now it's been almost 40 years. So, and probably they shored up the levees and did certain things. This is something that would have to be done there if it is in fact in a floodplain and levees, because it appears from that picture that there's homes there. So I don't know if it's what it turns out to be, but this is why you have to do your own due diligence while you make investments. Now, on a live stream, and that's right, our live streams, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening, 8:50 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday nights, and Friday night, 9:10 p.m., I was talking about some of this, and a person said, I said, yeah, Blue Terrenas, they had to do some changes, and they made some special deals there. And they said, no, they actually did something. Well, I just want to address the Blue Terrenas a little bit. That is a project also in Las Terrenas area, I believe. And so here's what I was saying is that the Blue Terrenas actually entered into an agreement with Inacar SL. Now, here's the thing. You can see it on the screen. That's in Spanish, right? But in English, has entered into a strategic agreement with DACC Investment Blue SRL, laying the groundwork for a new milestone in construction in the Dominican Republic. Okay. This contract involves the structural development and construction of 3 renowned residential and commercial complexes, the Blue Diamond, Larimar, and Zafiro. And just so everybody understands, the Larimar that you are accustomed to in Punta Cana, Inacar, I believe, is a subsidiary of Claire HP. So, I reviewed some things. It does not appear that these have been built yet. This came out, like, again, this is also going to be late. Came out probably 2 years ago, more than 2 years, probably 2.5 years ago at least. And there is at Blue Terrenas an office building, so to speak, but I could not find any confirmation that they have went beyond that building itself. I thought I saw a picture on the live stream, but I think that was a rendering that looked very close to a picture. I really couldn't tell, but nonetheless, does not matter. Maybe they were able to finish some section of this, but this is a big complex. It's not something that's small. So just so everybody understands, I put the Google in, it comes up. Saphiro phase, obviously investment opportunity. They talk about comfort tour, but Blue Diamond condos, in this is where they start talking about in a car, construction arm in a car, subsidiary of Claire HP, involved in construction. Well, again, jury's still out. I want to see what happens, but Ocean Bay Luxury, I believe that's in, I don't know if that's the Ocean Bay Luxury Residences. That's what they're saying. That's in Los Corrales, I believe. And then here's Larimar project they're talking about again. And here's Blue. So this right here, like I mentioned before, is what they're going to do. Blue Diamond, Larimar, and the Saphiro projects, the buildings for that. So just letting you guys know, do your homework. Always. Whenever you do investments, make sure you do your homework. This is it. Short and sweet. And I'll have a new video coming out probably on Thursday about a different subject matter. But nonetheless, make sure you check all of your investments. Go there. Get in touch. Hit the ground. Boots on the ground. Go find out from neighbors, locals. What do they know? All right? Because I know from the locals I talked to that were at Las Terrenas, who stayed there and lived there, they were saying that there was an electrical situation always over there, meaning outage, a day, two, a lot. So that's something you'd probably need to check on. I haven't been there personally myself. I've just been getting words from other people, but I'm sure it's a very nice place because that is a tourist hub. So they have to make sure that everything is above board. So I like to see that the government is being proactive in this case, and this is what they need to be all over the island regarding these real estate projects. So this is a great start. This is a great thing to do, and that moves everybody's game up so everybody builds accordingly to the country's tourism plan. That's what you want to do. All right. With all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why you want to make investments. Buy low so you can sell higher. But it does you no good if you buy low and then there's problems later and it costs you more money. So therefore, you have to make sure what your contract says if you decide to go into agreements with buy low or any agreement, even if it's to buy high. And that's what you should do. But again, make sure you stay safe out here. The world is getting terrible by the day. You just never know what's going to happen. So make sure you protect yourself and your families. And I'll see you on the other side. Just make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.